Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mindfulness with Kelly. Today, we're going to explore why we meditate. And the second part, we're going to do a meditation about sounds. So, I guess I wanted to start off with my experience when I was 17. I joined a meditation kind of training course for 6 weeks. And one of the things that really stood out for me was how my consciousness and my behavior changed in that time. And there was a pinnacle moment that I was very intrigued by. And the end of the sixth session, the last session of the 6 week period, I had this incredible experience that it's almost like I left my body and I was looking down at my body and I was just completely blissful. There was no thoughts. I was just in a state of bliss. And I think that seed has been planted as a seed of curiosity for my life to come. So I guess in the Zen circles, there's an analogy of a man galloping on a horse, and as the man's galloping on a horse, a person was on the side of the street and said, "Where are you going?" And the guy galloping on the horse said, "Ask the horse." And the man looked a little bit bemiffed. But I guess that's a great analogy because it's our energy, or the horse is our energy of habitual habit. And we're following the horse unconscious through life. And we're following the horse and we're at war with the horse because our energy of habitual patterns happens unconsciously. And I guess when you break down what meditation is I guess the Buddhist meditation has two aspects. It has an aspect of stopping, and it has an aspect of looking deeply. And I guess my intrigue with meditation arose when I read something on the Buddha saying, "Don't take my word for anything. Just follow this path and the truth will reveal itself." So it's almost like saying, try it and see what happens in your life, opposed to take my word for it. And the meditations are the most important part of what I'm doing on this channel, because if it's your first time meditating, you could feel quite a high level of discomfort. Or turning towards yourself, you may not have done it before, and it's not a pleasant feeling. Personally, meditation for me is a real discipline, and sometimes it does feel like Groundhog Day. You're making no progress. But I guess what it allows you some space. It allows you some space in your life. So from anything that arises, whether it be a hard conversation or whether it be something that you don't like, once that arises, what meditation does is gives you the space to be able to respond and react. So I guess that brings me into what the creative mind is and what the reactive mind is. And I guess, giving you two examples, the reactive mind comes through the five senses. So it comes through all your five senses. And it's quite conditioned with past experience. And if I give you an example, so you're on the way to work, you walking down the street, you see a sign on a bus saying, sunny Ibiza, book the holiday. Then next minute you're thinking, about the past holidays you've done, and should I go to Ibiza? But then the other day that, my friend said this, and then you get kind of lost in a whole story of one advertising, an advert on a bus saying Ibiza. And then that just continually continues all the way until you get to work. And I guess that's a state of unconsciousness and a state of continual reaction. And that's quite a conditioned conditioned place to be in, I guess. And it's habitual. So it's the same old tumbleweed. We go into a shop, we're on a diet, we see crisps, and then we think, oh, I feel like crisps, but by the time you're so unconscious that you've bought the crisp, you're eating the crisp, and you're supposed to be on the diet. And I guess that's what reactive mind is. Then on the second part, we've got creative mind. And I guess creative mind is a response to stimuli opposed to a reaction. So it responds skillfully to anything that arises. And it's not determined or dependent on stimuli which it comes into contact with. I guess there could be a level of optimism despite any unpleasant circumstances. You have the capacity to love when there's no reason to love. There's the capacity to forgive when when it seems impossible. You hear these incredible stories of people that have, that have been murdered, and there's, someone saying, I forgive this person. And where does that come from? How can that be possible when someone's taken away your loved one? And I think that is what the creative mind is able to do. It's able to rise above all this, superficial layer and allow people to see the truth from a higher level. And to tap into that state of consciousness is very joyful and very, it puts life, I guess, in some kind of perspective, even if you can touch the creative mind in parts of your day. And it comes back to why meditate. Meditation allows you to tap into the creative mind opposed to being lost in the reactive mind. And again, I can't specify, and I can't tell you enough that it's the space in between that meditation creates. So now we're going to do a sound meditation. I'm only going to do it sort of for 5-7 minutes. It's going to be a short one today. And if you just get yourself comfortable, you can lay on the floor or you can sit in a chair. The only thing that I recommend is your back to be straight and you feel comfortable. So I'm going to ring some bells and I'll run you through it. So when you're ready, close your eyes. And when you have your eyes closed, just arrive to the room. And we're just going to do a quick body scan for you to notice different parts of the body. We do this every practice just to check in on how we're feeling and to arrive on the cushion in the chair. Just feel your emotional tone. Just notice where your thoughts are. And just notice the rise and the fall of your stomach. And just notice the weight of the body on the floor or the chair. Notice your feet, your shins, your kneecaps, your quads, your sitting bones, your stomach, your chest and your shoulders, the whole of your arms, your throat. And just notice your head. Are you clenching your jaw? And just connect to your whole experience. And if you feel uncomfortable or your thoughts are saying this is silly or I can't do this, just be the observer. There's no need to engage in any of them in any way. Okay, now focus on a sound. And the sound can be inside the room or the sound can be outside the room. And once you notice a sound, just notice it in its entirety. And just notice if the sound is moving or still. And if one sound goes, then choose another sound. Just see if you can focus on one sound at a time. Just notice your feelings towards that sound, if there's any. Because we may have aversion to sounds, or we might not like something we're hearing. And this practice is just about having open awareness and focusing on one sound at a time. Or more sounds if you'd like to hear more sounds. And if another sound fades away, choose another one. Just see if you can notice how you feel whilst listening to the sounds. So you've got a feeling connection to the sound and not a thinking connection to the sound. And be really open and curious what the sound is. And your mind might have a lot to say about this, as most minds do. Just allow your thoughts to come and go and come back to the breath and back to the sound that you'd like to focus on. Listening to sounds can be quite a joyful experience because it can connect to the stillness within you. Okay, now we'll just start letting go of the practice. And just connect back into your body, back into your breath. And just notice that there's a couple of processes that are happening. There's you, there's your feelings in your body, and there's the noticing of sounds. We're giving the thinking mind a break. However, any thoughts that arise, you can thank the mind for whatever it's brought up with kindly awareness, and then come back into the body, into the breath. And you're building an incredibly valuable set of tools, even if you meditate for 5 minutes a day. So slowly just come back into the room, feeling the weight of your body on the floor. Feeling the clothes on your skin. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Allow the light to slowly enter into your eyes. And I just wanted to say, really congratulate yourself for making the effort, because all these small steps that we're making in any meditation practice, it can be as small as 5 minutes, really has a massive effect on your life. And it creates space. Like I said to you before, it creates space from a situation that arises. You have the space to be able to step back and then respond. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.